In Philippi, West Virginia, two unusual figures rest inside the Barbour County Historical Museum. Known as the Philippi Mummies, they were created in the late 1800s by Graham Hamrick, a farmer with a fascination for science. Hamrick acquired the unclaimed cadavers of two women from the old Weston State Hospital. One was about 40 years old, the other around 20. Using his homemade embalming solution of saltpeter, alum, and other chemicals, he dried and hardened the bodies until they resembled mummies. According to accounts, one had a dead infant, maybe died in childbirth or of sickness. Hamrick also preserved the tiny remains of the child, but somewhere along the line it vanished, leaving behind only stories of its existence. For a time, the mummies even traveled the country as part of P.T. Barnum's circus sideshows, where they were displayed as curiosities to wide-eyed audiences. Eventually, they were brought back home to Philippi, where they've remained ever since. Hamrick was often asked to share his embalming formula, but he refused, keeping the details to himself. When he died, he took the exact secret of his technique to the grave. Today, he rests in Mary's Chapel Cemetery, just north of Philippi, not far from where his strange creations are displayed. The two women still lie behind glass. It's easy to think of them as oddities, but they were also real people, with real lives, and real stories now long forgotten. They stand as a curious reminder of Hamrick's experiments, and as part of Appalachian history preserved alongside Civil War relics, and even hometown pride for Ted Cassidy, the actor who played Lurch on the Addams Family. And we are headed there today to see them for ourselves.
Well, hello YouTube, and how is everybody doing today? I hope you guys are doing good. Heather and I are on a road trip and a half. We are on we're doing it. We ain't took off in a while, so we just decided to load up and take off for a while. Right now we are in Philippi, West Virginia, at the old covered double barrel bridge. Look at that. Is that not gorgeous? I think it said it's one of the only double barrel bridges around. But we are here for that, actually. We can't, not that car. This, sorry. We're here for the, no, we're not here for that car. We're here in Philippi to see some mummies. Yes, you heard me right. But I just thought I would come out here real quick and just show you the covered bridge. Let me just kind of, the Philippi covered bridge across the Tigert Valley River was built in 1852 by Lemuel Chenoweth of Beverly, made of wood with the exception of the iron bolts used to hold the segments together. It's an example of the best in covered bridge architecture and design. It was used by armies of the North and South in the Civil War. In 1934, the bridge was strengthened to permit modern traffic and is today part of US 250. How cool is that? And there's more about that. We'll kind of get into some of that a little bit later. I just wanted to come out real quick before we go into the museum, and we are getting ready to do it. All right, let me see here. See if we can get a peek. A double barrel covered bridge from the Civil War, guys. You can see the old pieces inside. That is insanely cool. But for now, we are here, like I said, for the Philippi Mummies. Yes, these are real mummies. Okay. In 1888, Graham Hamrick mummified human cadavers using formula unrevealed to this day. Mummies traveled the world and now reside here. That they do. But this right here is the museum. Now, how cool does that look? All right, let's go in and find some mummies.
They got a dehumidifier in here. Oh, look at that. Look how little they are.
Wow. It don't look real, does it?
Yeah, it don't. I can't see.
Looks like plastic or something. Wow.
So one is 20 years old and one is about 40. And they initially came with a baby that they think belonged to one of them.
But they were residents of the Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum. And yeah, got mummified. That is amazing though, isn't it? Looks like wood.
It does. So this right here says, this is a copy of the letter written by one of the women, the women mummified. The letter below was returned to Mrs. Warner at the hospital for the insane, unopened. Dear brother, I take my pen in hand to write you to inform you that I am well at present and hope those few lines find you all well. I have quit taking my medicine. I feel better than when I was taken. I have been thinking of coming home for some time, but the doctors still say it's better to stay put. I think I am as well as I will ever get. I suppose my husband is at your house. If he is, can you give him this letter, as I have never received any from him since I've been here. I will come home soon as he comes after me, and Lord being willing, I hope that will be soon. Give my love to all. Friends. Give my all, and I don't know what that says. Querying friends, no more at present. Written on the back of the letter was the following: Mrs. Warner is doing well in her general health. Mentally, she is improving. Respectfully, W.J. Blaney.
West Virginia.
And then look what happened.
Yeah.
One of them ended up.
Yeah, wound up getting mummified. And didn't they? I think they traveled the world with Barnum Bailey, P.T. Barnum.
They did. So Graham Hamrick is the one. He's actually buried close by. I was wanting to go by his grave, and I don't think we're going to have time though. But he is the one that got the cadavers, and he had a special embalming solution that is still a mystery to this day. Graham Hamrick, farmer, inventor, shopkeeper, undertaker, 1821 to 1899. Hamrick's mummification method involved draining the body of fluids through an incision in the abdomen, injecting water-dissolved saltpeter through the incision, placing the body in an airtight box, then infusing it with sulfur fumes over a long period of time. Saltpeter is potassium nitrate. Ingested, it causes involuntary relaxation of muscle fibers. Sulfur smells like rotten eggs and can cause respiratory problems. But there's, I guess, some pieces of this recipe missing, but maybe it's not. I've just heard that. But I know that when he was buried that he wanted his family to mummify him, but they didn't, which would imply that someone had to have the recipe, right?
It says out front on the sign that it was lost.
Okay.
Look at her hands though. Did you notice? Huh.
These are reasons for admission to Trans-Allegheny, which is, there's a big list there, but they're all pretty wild. You can get admitted to Trans-Allegheny because it was that time of life, which would be
old age,
menopause, reading a book too much, being too religious, bad habits, domestic selection. So basically I'd heard that husbands would just dump their wives off at the insane asylum and their kids just so they could move on.
Get a new one. Well, just about anything was a reason to have you admitted to an insane asylum. I mean, look at all those. vicious vices. Vices. Woman trouble. Superstition. You could be committed. You could be committed, guys.
Being superstitious.
For being superstitious.
Just think how many of us would qualify for that stuff these days.
Okay, shooting of daughter is a reason. If you shoot your smallpox. Huh. Snuff eating.
What?
Yes.
Wow.
Gathering in the head. Greediness. Grief. Wow. The war. That's just all it says, the war.
Yeah.
Looks like plastic and no hair. All the hair's gone.
Yeah. The lighting's not the best for recording, but we did the best we could.
Yeah. This looks like an older one. I'm guessing this is the 40-year-old.
She's so little.
I know. Don't look like real people though, does it?
Well, I just think it's wild that this letter right here was wrote, you know, about coming home to her husband and stuff, and then she had no idea she was going to be laying in here forever.
I know.
Never buried.
And just because you went to a mental asylum, you know, from that moment on, you know, they can give your body away.
Yeah, they just like own your
you don't
whole
own
everything.
it anymore. You don't own your body
And her
anymore.
family didn't even want it back.
Yeah, we're going to just give you away to some dude who's going to, you know, turn you into a mummy.
Yeah.
That-
Let's see if we can get it with a little time left.
That is insane, is it not, guys?
I'll take a picture
All
of
right,
it.
look at some of the reasons. Let y'all pause some of this if you want to. Jealousy. Laziness. Wow. Carbonic acid gas. Wow. Almost anything. Really?
And General Ulysses Grant.
Drum
Right here.
played at the surrender of General Robert E. Lee to General Ulysses S. Grant at Appomattox Courthouse. Bass drums during the Civil War were large compared to the bass drum of modern times. During the time, the bass drum was referred to as a barrel drum. Measures 24 by 24. That is wild, ain't it? That was at Appomattox. This old cameras and stuff. Okay. Wheelchair from, that's got to be from Trans-Allegheny, I'm guessing. Used after World War I when discharged from the hospital. What is that? Is this like a green? What kind of piano is this?
I believe that it is a harpsichord, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, a harpsichord.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. I thought it looked kind of unusual.
Yeah.
You call it four, right?
Yes, we do.
Where's it from? Does it
We got that locally, actually.
really?
Yeah.
Amazing place you have here.
Yeah.
Oh, look, Confederate $5 bill. A drum from 1929. 5, excuse me. Wow. Picture of the old
Does
bridge.
it cost to get in here? I didn't even ask.
Oh, no, not really. The admission is free.
Okay.
Thank you.
Memorial. Bunch of old pictures too. Oh, look at that. You see the old covered bridge? It's snowy. This is the museum's right here. What was that actually from? I don't think this is a reprint, Heather. I think this is the real deal.
It is.
Wow. Look at that. Roosevelt dead. April 13th, 1945. Wow. A war ration book, guys. That's, yeah, you were allowed to have so many of this and so much of that, and that's it. You had your rations. Look at that, $1. That is cool. Aretha knits moccas, excuse me. You have to wind these up. It's got a crank over here. Old stuff. I love old stuff. A little brown jugs. It is West Virginia. You gotta have the little brown jugs. Okay, comb flax. I was thinking that was for cotton.
Yeah.
Oh, it is for cotton.
Well, I believe it's for wool, if I'm not mistaken.
Wool?
Yes.
Okay, okay. To pull the fibers out, I get it. For pulling wool or cotton, there you go. Through to straighten the strands and get the burrs and debris. That is really cool. That is amazing. Whose leg? Oh, is this the hanger leg?
Yeah, the model one, yes.
Really? How? Oh, really? We're doing a story about him as well. J.E. Hanger artificial leg. Mr. Hanger lost his leg in the Philippi battle in 1861, and he went on to establish an artificial limb company that is still in business. This leg was purchased from the Hanger Company in 1945 by James T. McCartney of French Creek, West Virginia. Now, we'll be doing a story about Mr. Hanger as well while we're up here. It's an amazing story behind this. It really is. I love your place, too, right beside the bridge.
Oh, yeah, it's a very good location.
Yeah, it really is, isn't it? Holy Bible from mid-1800s. Big, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Viewer from the Foreman family. Oh, I've seen those. I've seen those in like old movies and stuff. A rug beater. A light bulb from 1921. Kind of looks like ours, a little smaller base. I like to check out dates when I see something see stuff like that. I'll immediately look for the date on it. Lurch. The Lurch exhibit. And you guys watch Addams Family. You probably know who Lurch is. There he is. What's that? Lurching forward. Thing. Remember Thing? And there's Lurch himself. This is supposed to be actual life size, so. Mm-hmm. I'm almost there. Oh yeah, here's some good ones. The old pictures of the bridge. Some serious flooding too. Oh wow, on fire. Bridge on fire. It must have burned at some point. Scene of the first land battle of the Civil War, underwater. Amazing stuff. So is this part of it back here?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Oh, you got a whole nother section. Fossils. Been known to hunt a few of those myself. Well, it's not just fossils, it's relics. Carboniferous, been known to do that. And pottery shards. Old oil lamps, that's how they used to make them. Mom showed me how to make those years ago. Out of a saucer, a bowl, and a piece of cotton. You make oil lamps. You can use any kind of oil, cooking oil, anything will work. Leftover bacon grease. Very cool little museum, though. Now this, the floor is wooden blocks. Wow, looks like bricks. I'm guessing this place is old, this section here. Look at this. It smells old. It smells really old in here. There's a model of the bridge. Wow, razors used in Foreman's barber shop. I'd say they've been used a time or two. Branding hammer. Okay, that sounds really bad. A branding hammer. Both words sound bad. Leg guard for riding horses. Apple rings used to size apples. Knife made by Isaac H. Miller and his father between 1850 and 1860. Wow, that was really cool looking. Lock and key from the old jailhouse in Philippi. Look at the size of that key. That thing is huge. Old locks. Donated to Barbour County Museum. An old razor. Irons. These are flat irons. You'd heat them up on your coal stove is how you use them. Lay them on your stove or something. A corn planter. Huh. I'm guessing you put your corn in there and something else. Now this says corn sheller and that says corn planter. Huh. Looks like it would probably grind some stuff. Look at those doors. Looks like old fire department or something. Typewriters, what's that? Typeset for a printing press. Donated by, oh wow. I've never seen one of these. Wow, you'd have to put all the little letters in individually. You get close enough. I don't even know if y'all can see that, it's so small. Each letter individually, and then just crank it and feed your paper. Another one, another one, another one, another one. That is amazing. 1924 typewriter, a printing press, scales, coffee grinder, old coffee grinder. Of course, y'all know what that is. That's an old wringer washer and a washboard. Now, collection on loan. Different types of barbed wire, razor wire. Look at that stuff. Vicious looking. Vicious looking stuff. Examples of old school razor wire. And what's left of a Singer sewing machine and railroad spikes. There's a whole bunch of stuff in there. Used for repairing shoes. Of course, y'all know what that is. There's a fro. I've mentioned froze before. Dull as a fro. There's a fro. In case anybody's ever curious about what a fro was. It's for splitting logs. You make shingles. You can do different things with it, carving logs down. Mom used to talk about them, something being dull as a fro. There's a fro. Mining stuff. Augers. I have no clue what this giant rake thing looking thing is up here. Maybe somebody give me a heads up on that one. Augers, breast augers, I know what those are. You put your body against it right there and lean into that thing when you're cranking. It's called a breast auger. All kinds of mining, coal mining related stuff. The railroad. Train caboose lanterns. This is a really cool room. There's some old, it smells really old in here. Okay, I'm afraid to ask what that is. There's a seat here and you sit down on it and there's some sort of crank that does something, so I don't think it's probably a good idea to sit in. A broom machine found caught under the covered bridge after the flood of 1895. Excuse me, 1985. I'm sorry. What is it? A broom machine, huh? Is that how they make brooms, you think? A store cash box. Really? So this was the cash register of the day, huh? Keep track of who owes you what. That's amazing. General merchandise store cash box. Huh. It's a cash register from way back. Now that I don't know, but it looks like it would probably be really good at severing limbs. Saddle. Post office bench. Okay. Clothes wringer. And another Singer sewing machine in the back. Saddle here, and an old wooden dolly. Here's another one of those whatevers they are. I'm not real sure what that is. The long forks on it. And somebody give me a heads up on what that puppy is. And some geodes. Yeah, I knew what those were as soon as I saw that. Ooh, geodes. There's a piece of one, a busted one. 1915 Luton Bridge Company. Wow. This place is really cool. I love going through old junk like this. Look at that. Inside of a geode. That is cool. They bubbles in volcanic rock, or as animal burrows, tree roots, or mud balls in sedimentary rock. Over time, the outer shell of the spherical shape hardens, and water-containing silica forms on the inside walls of the hollow cavity within the geode. These have layers of iron, and that makes sense because they're really heavy. You can tell. You can tell that puppy's really heavy. Boot stretcher. You know what that is. There's a big wagon in it. I didn't even notice the wagon under there. That one's got to be for hauling some heavy loads. Look at them metal wheels. That does not have wagon wheels on it. That's got steel. That thing is for hauling something heavy, heavy, heavy. Probably around the train station, wasn't it? Hauling heavy cargo and stuff. And say that's what it was. Wooden blocks, though. I can't get over that. Wooden bricks on the ground. It's amazing. All right, let's get out of here. Let's go find Heather.